Once upon a time, I found myself caught in the midst of a crumbling marriage. My husband had grown dissatisfied with what he perceived as my lack of tenderness and consideration. Frustrated and hurt, I turned to my closest confidant, my husband's first love, to pour out my grievances. Little did I know that this decision would lead us down the path of divorce. In the early days of our marriage, everything seemed perfect. We were deeply in love, and the world felt like an enchanting place. But as time went by, the stark differences in our personalities became more apparent. My husband, John, was a gentle and affectionate man who craved constant emotional connection. On the other hand, I was more independent and focused on my career, often neglecting the softer aspects of our relationship. As the distance between us grew, I sought solace in the company of my friends, including Sarah, John's first love. Sarah and I had remained close over the years, and she had always been a source of comfort and understanding. I confided in her about the struggles in my marriage, seeking advice and empathy. However, little did I realize that my venting sessions with Sarah were only fueling the fire. John started suspecting that I was sharing intimate details about our relationship, and his trust in me began to erode. Fed up with the constant arguments and misunderstandings, we reached a breaking point and decided to part ways. The days following our separation were filled with heartache and introspection. I questioned my own actions and wondered if there was something I could have done differently. It was during this period of self-reflection that I realized the importance of communication, understanding, and compromise in a marriage. One evening, as I sat alone in my empty apartment, I received a message from Sarah. She expressed her regret for inadvertently contributing to the downfall of my marriage. She acknowledged her role in the misunderstandings and offered a heartfelt apology. Her message struck a chord within me, prompting me to reevaluate my own actions. I realized that seeking solace in someone else's company instead of addressing the issues with my husband was a mistake. I had allowed myself to be swayed by external influences instead of working on our relationship together. With a newfound determination, I reached out to John, expressing my deep remorse and desire to reconcile. I acknowledged my faults and promised to prioritize our emotional connection. It was a difficult conversation, filled with tears and raw emotions, but it was also a turning point. Over time, we slowly rebuilt the trust that had been shattered. We attended couples therapy, learning to communicate effectively and express our needs and desires. We discovered the importance of compromise and finding a balance between our individual personalities. As the wounds healed, our love grew stronger. We discovered a deeper understanding and appreciation for each other. Through the challenges we faced, we rediscovered the tenderness and consideration that had drawn us together in the first place. Our journey taught us the value of forgiveness, both for ourselves and for others. We recognized that seeking solace in someone else's presence was not a solution, but a distraction from the real issues at hand. We learned that true love requires effort, understanding, and a willingness to work through difficulties together. Today, John and I are more in love than ever before. Our marriage is built on a foundation of open communication, empathy, and compromise. We cherish the lessons we've learned and strive to create a future filled with warmth, tenderness, and unwavering support for one another.